Hi there, Jen Roque here from StampCampWithJen.com. I am an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator in Summerfield, Florida, near the Villages, and welcome to my weekly Facebook Live. I am now going live every Monday at 11 a.m. Eastern Time, so if you're used to my previous Facebook time, that recently switched. So I am now live Mondays on Facebook at 11 a.m. If you can't catch me live, that's not a problem. I will always post the replay to my YouTube channel. I know not everybody is on Facebook. And you'll be able to watch the live replay on my Facebook page as well. Hi, Mom. Thanks so much for joining me. So I am going to pull up the video on my tablet here so I can see. And I'll mute myself too so I don't hear everything in the background. So lots of exciting things coming tomorrow. Celebration starts tomorrow. We've got new products coming out. Lots of cool things. So and of course, I forgot to grab my paper off the printer. I'll have to get that real quick. But I have a little printout that I will share on my Facebook page as well. And I'll be sending out to my newsletter subscribers today. Just reminders of what to check and where to go for those products. So there's going to be lots of new stuff tomorrow. So I think there's like 4 or 5 different, there's like 3 or 4 different like catalogs / online things that are coming out, plus new kits, plus all kinds of stuff. So it's going to be a lot of cool new stuff to see. So really neat. So let me flip the camera around and then we'll go over a couple things and then I will show you the cutest card. My nephew and his wife are expecting twins and we went to a baby shower in Alabama this weekend. And so I made a onesie card. So that's what we're making today. And you'll be able to adjust it to make it for boys or girls or whatever you choose. And the paper today will be perfect for either one really. So, and it's a new paper pack that's coming out tomorrow. So very cool. So let me switch the camera around here. And let me do it without any, there we go. I'm always afraid I'm gonna close it instead of switch it. So let's see here. Let's get everything adjusted. Okay, and let me get that little paper off my printer here. Let's see. Oh, and it cut off a lot of it, but that's okay. So the big thing to know is that we have new celebrate or mini catalog. This little mini catalog here starts January 7th. So we have new products coming out for that. Celebration starts January 7th as well. Every $60 in a single order, you'll get freebies. Let me see here. Okay, and then new online exclusive products, new scrapbooking brochure products. Those they haven't released that as a digital brochure, and you'll be able to see the products tomorrow. Oh, Lori, you liking the new time? Thank you. I like it too. It's more convenient for me. So the big, and then we have 3 new kits. Normally we've had 2 new kits, and now we have 3 new kits coming starting tomorrow. So we have 3 new kits this month, and this is the big one to pay attention to. $30 extra in Stampin' Rewards when you have a $300 order during celebration. So you'll get Stampin' Rewards, which on a $300 order is about 12%, so $36. Plus you'll get an extra $30. And then if you get up to, I think it's $450, you get a half off item as well. So, and you can place a big order like that as much as you want and get that extra $30 in Stampin' Rewards. That's a really good deal. And then if you have ever considered becoming a demonstrator, there's two awesome options for you to choose from. You just check out page 16 of your celebration brochure and it'll tell you all about that. So lots of cool things to check out tomorrow. Okay. And so I also do want to remind you, so I always send myself a customer catalog whenever I order catalogs to be sent from Stampin' Up! And you'll know it's from me because they print my information at the top here for your demonstrator. So if you haven't gotten this yet, you have until January 10th, Stampin' Up! Said. And if you haven't gotten this, then please let me know so I can call Stampin' Up! And have them mail you a new one, okay? All right. So this is the cute little card we're gonna make today. I love it so much. It's in the shape of a onesie, and then you open it up and it says, "Let's celebrate your new baby." Now, like I said, my nephew and his wife are expecting twins. So I actually did, and I'll have a picture of it on my blog. I took a picture before I gave them the card, but it says, "Let's celebrate your new," and then I put twins underneath. They're having twin boys at the end of April, and they have the cutest little 2-year-old girl. So, and she's been the only child. So we're all curious how she's going to do when she's not the only child anymore. But she's the cutest thing. She was running all over the place, having a good time. So we are going to use, this paper is from the Timeless Plaid Designer Series paper that's coming out tomorrow. And if you haven't seen these papers yet, they're so pretty. Let me zoom in just a little bit here. So there's lots of different colors that could be used for boys or for girls. Very nice colors. Very pretty spring plaid colors. I like the spring plaid. And there's, I mean, like I said, patterns that could be used for boys or for girls. I feel like it's very versatile. So it comes with 4 of each of those. And then this is the other one. I chopped up most of the color, or most of the papers in that one. So I only have one little piece left of that. Okay. So we are going to take out our pieces here. So we have a piece of Lost Lagoon that is 4 1/4 by 11. We have a piece of basic white that's going to be our liner that's 4 by 5 1/4. And this is that Timeless Plaid DSP that's 4 1/4 by 5 1/2. Yeah, she probably will be a little mother just like me. You're right, Mom. And then that's the back side there, so a little muted. Hi, Jean. Thanks so much for joining us. So these are the measurements, and this is a little product number. I'm going to leave this here for just a second in case you want to write it down. Now, I'm using Old Olive for this little piece. So what I did here was I cut out 2 pieces. Let's see. Using the Stylish Shapes dies. So we took, I think it's the 2 middle ones. Yeah. So the 2 middle ones I put right next to each other, and I made like a little frame, and you tape them down, and then you run them over a piece of Old Olive, and you get those 2 pieces. And we're actually going to use both of those. No waste. I'm real big about not having a bunch of scraps, so I really like that we're going to be able to use both of these pieces for this project. So like I said, you have in the Stylish Shapes, you have the 2 biggest, the 2 smallest, and then we use the 2 middle ones for those pieces. Can you tell I like this set? We used this last week too. It's one of my favorites. All right. So now on the blog post and in the tutorial, you'll have the cut guides for this, but for now, once again, I forgot to print it out while I'm doing it, so I'm gonna be looking at my computer behind me, but you will have the cut guides to cut all this stuff. Okay, so I'm gonna take these off now. We're gonna put this together. Okay. Oh, and before, I completely forgot, before we begin, so this prize from last week, the Real Red and White Baker's Twine, the winner is Mary Grant. I can't believe I forgot to do that first. So Mary won the prize from last week. I have your address, Mary, so you don't need to send me an email or anything. I'll get it out in the mail to you tomorrow. And then if you want to win this week's prize, it is a spool of the, which one is this? Shy Shamrock ribbon, brand new, still has the plastic on it. So you can comment during the live or the replay on my Facebook or my YouTube video. Just comment prize, that's all you need to do if you want a chance to win this spool of the Shy Shamrock ribbon. Okay, so that's the prize for this week. Sorry about that, I completely forgot. All right, so what we're gonna do first, we're gonna fold our card in half here. I have it scored at 5.5. It just makes it a little easier to keep everything nice and crisp and to score everything. Okay. And then this piece, like I said, is 4.25 by 5.5, so it'll just go right over the top there. And we'll just put liquid glue all over the back, just a light layer, all over the back here. And just kind of line it up as best you can there. Oops. Doesn't have to be too perfect. We're going to cut away a lot of the sides, but you just want to line it up as best you can. We can always trim it later if we need to. All right, so we need to we need a ruler and a pencil. Okay. One of these days I'm gonna get a new ruler. Mine's like fraying, this old wood ruler that I've had forever. Okay. So what we're gonna do first is from the top, so you want to make sure this is right side up. So from the top, we're gonna go down 1.5 inches on both sides and make a little pencil mark. So 1.5 right there on both sides. 1.5 right there. And then we're gonna go in 3/4 of an inch. And like I said, you don't have to write these down. I will have the full measurements, the cut guides, there will be pictures when the blog post goes out tomorrow morning, and it'll be in the tutorial as well. If you haven't subscribed for my newsletter, make sure to do that because all my newsletter subscribers get the detailed tutorials. So I'm just making that pencil mark out to the 3/4 inch line there. Okay, and then we're gonna just make an angle from there to the corner at the bottom down here. I'm just gonna do it lightly. It doesn't need to be real hard, but you just want to line because we're gonna use some long handled scissors to kind of cut that. I'm gonna do that on both sides here. And see, that's why it doesn't really matter too much if your paper doesn't go all the way to the edge because you cut quite a bit off. So we're just gonna cut that, make that little line here. Okay. Now, I have these Fiskars long-handled scissors. They, of course, have a glittery pink handle. I will have a link in my Amazon storefront and on my blog post for these if you'd like to purchase them. I like these when I have something like this where I need to cut a long line. It just makes it a lot easier. And these are pretty sharp scissors. So Mary's Prize is perfect for Valentine's projects. You're right, Lori, it is. The red and the white, it's actually low inventory right now too. So if you're planning on placing an order soon, I would order that. So with the card closed, we're actually going to cut along those lines that we just made. As carefully as we can, we're gonna cut, and then we're gonna cut the side going in that little 3/4 inch section. Up just a little bit. There we go. And that's trash, and we'll do the same thing on the other side. Just a little bit there. All right, so it's starting to come together. You're kind of seeing it, right? All right, and then what we're gonna do is we're actually gonna grab our 1 3/4 inch circle punch, and you see how it has this little X in the middle? We're actually gonna use this triangle as our guide to how far in we need to punch. So we're gonna do this one at a time, because if you try to punch through both of these layers, you could break your punch, you could pinch your fingers, it's a lot. So what you wanna do is you wanna take this point of your card and you want to line it up in that center where that circle is. You can see that little triangle in the circle. You're kind of lining that up with the circle. Now, before we punch this, I do want to mention this. The measurement in between the two legs, if you want to really make sure that you're getting it right, is 2 1/4. So if we want to measure before we punch, because I know some people, like my mom, are very specific and they want to make sure that it's exactly right. So this is about 4 1/4. So if you go in 1 inch, so 3 1/4, and 1 inch from the left, this between those two is 2 1/4. So we can use those little pencil marks to make sure that we're punching exactly where we need to punch to. But you'll see it's going to line up right about where that pencil mark is. See, that pencil mark is right there. And we're going to line up that corner in the center of that circle and punch. And that little pencil mark is right next to it. So that's the perfect measurement right there, is using that little corner, that little triangle in that circle to measure our leg part. And we have our little pencil marks right there. So now we can close our card and use that as a guide and line up our paper. Oops. Just until we can't see it, and then we can punch. You can also draw a pencil mark if that's easier for you. You can draw a pencil mark like this and punch it that way. You can open it up, slide it in, and punch. And that lines up too. So whichever way, there's a couple different ways you can do it, whatever way you're most comfortable with. But now we have that basic little shape right there. Mom has a new grand pup. That's right. My baby sister got a Great Dane. Yeah, so I love that little tip. I realized that when I was making the card, I was like, oh, that little triangle lines up perfectly with those corners. But make sure, like I said, if you really want to make sure and get that spacing right, then measure in 1 inch from each side, make a little pencil mark, and you'll see it lines up perfectly right there. And then I like to use this pink pearl eraser to get any pencil marks off. It erases really well. These are the same ones that they tell you to get for kids in school. I had a bunch left over from buying my son's school supplies, and I always keep one in my desk because it does erase pencil mark really, really well. Okay, so now for the little neckline here, What I found to be the easiest thing for that is to take that die that we used. Remember, we used those 2 center ones here. So we're actually going to take the smaller one, and what we want to do is open this up and center it. To me, that's the easiest way to do it. I tried cutting it with it closed, and it is very hard to get through all those layers. So what you want to do is kind of eyeball it, and you want to center it left to right and top to bottom as best you can. And then we're going to take some of our Post-it note tape, and we're going to hold that in place, and we're going to run it through the embossing machine. And so we're just using those 2 circles that I used to make these little old olive pieces. Remember I showed you that little layering tip that we used? We're using the smaller one. So not the bigger one, but the smaller one. It measures about, if we use that line in the center, it measures about 1 5/8 wide if you're using that cut guide in the middle. If you go from outside to outside, no, use that cut guide in the middle. So that line in the middle, if you measure left to right, it's 1 5/8 about. Okay. All right. So we're going to use that one and kind of eyeball it here. It might not be perfect, but it'll be pretty close. And we're going to put that Post-it note tape down. We're going to grab our embossing machine. Got the big one out because we can't put this through. Well, yeah, I don't think we can put that through the small one because it's too wide. The small one's about 3 1/4 or 3 1/2 inch wide, and this is 4 1/4 inch wide. So we're going to grab our embossing machine here, and our number 1 plate, which is our base, our 2, which is the little shim, and then I've got brand new plates hot off the press here. We're going to do a number 3 plate, put our paper down, and a number 4 plate, or another number 3, not a number 4, another number 3 plate here. We're just going to run this through. Now, you could run this all the way through, but sometimes the edges of these plates will kind of crinkle your card. So I'm just going to run it all the way back so that I don't get any sort of indent from the plates pressing together. When we do this big reveal here, let's see how it goes. You can use the stitch circles for the leg openings. I just found the punches to be a lot easier. And then it lined up. I guess I got it lined up just right. It's a little bit to the left, but I didn't line it up left to right very well, but I did do it top to bottom pretty good. So again, if you want to measure it to really make sure, you can, but usually if you eyeball it, you're fine. And then this piece is just trash. You don't have to keep that for anything. Yeah, it's a little to the left, but that's okay. But yeah, so just when you center it, do a better job than I do of doing it top to bottom, but left to right, if you center it pretty well, it should all line up just like that. Okay, now we can bring these pieces in. Let's zoom back in a little bit so you can see here. All right, so now what we're gonna do is this, you should be able to use this whole circle for all 3 of these pieces. So what we're gonna do first is we're going to glue this part on. So we're gonna take a little bit of liquid glue. Man, mine is really off center. I didn't mean for it to be that off center, but that's all right. We're gonna use a little bit of liquid glue here and just go make a little line all the way around. And we're gonna glue this on, lining it up right next to that neckline. Give that a second. And then we're gonna take our snips and we're gonna snip that off. Just like that. And then we're gonna do the same thing. We're gonna go down to the leg opening here and put a little line of glue here. And I'm just gonna line that edge up with the bottom of the card. Oops. And I'm gonna line that up with that opening. And then we're gonna snip that piece off. And we're gonna see, it should be just enough. Yep, perfect. It's just enough for all of those pieces. And now we'll line this up. And that, all three of those pieces. How cool is that? Oh my gosh, I love it. Now this little circle we're gonna put in the center. Again, just some more liquid glue here. I'm gonna put that in the middle. And then we're gonna take our bee builder punch, and I have a piece of Lost Lagoon, and I'm just gonna try to see if I can make this little piece work. There we go. And I am going to pop this up right in the center. Oops, a little piece didn't cut all the way. So I'm gonna get some dimensionals and pop that up. Right in the center, and I probably get a little one too, or one of these edge pieces. These little edge pieces for the bottom. There we go. And that's the front. So now let me show you real quick how to do the liner so that you get that liner that matches up on the inside, because it's not quite the exact same, so it's pretty close. So let me show you how to do that real quick. So that's the front. All right, let's see here. We need our, this one's 4 1/4 or 4 by 5 1/4. And we are going to let's see what my measurements say here. Okay, so for this one now, we're gonna go down 1 1/4 instead of 1 1/2. So just 1 1/4 on both sides. And we're still gonna go 3/4 of an inch in, just like we did with the front. 3/4 of an inch. Oops, 3/4 of an inch, not 1 inch. 3/4 of an inch. And then again, we're gonna make that angle down to the corner. And same thing on this side. There we go. So there's our little basic pattern, just like before. And grab our long handled scissors. Just gonna cut up there. Cut in where the arms go. And do the same thing on this side. My hands are so shaky. My coffee's kicking in. There we go. And that little piece there. Okay. And then we're gonna grab our little eraser just to make sure there's no pencil marks left over. It's all nice and clean. All right. Now, again, oops, cut this little edge here. Oh, corner's funky. There we go. All right, so now the center of the liner between the legs is supposed to be 2 inches wide. So if we look at this, this is about 4 inches. So if we want to make our pencil marks like we did before, we'll just go in 1 inch to 3 inches and go in 1 inch at 1 inch. And this will be 2 inches, okay? So we can use that circle punch again and line it up, and it should be about the same. You'll see your little pencil mark here in the punch, and kind of line that up with that triangle. And then we'll do the same thing on this side. Line that up with the triangle. Okay. And now if we look in our card here, it should be about lined up like it's supposed to. Yep. So now for the top up here, we're gonna use that same stitched circle, or no, we're using the bigger one, I think, for this one. Let me double check. Yeah, so for the inside liner, you're using the larger of the 2 that we used before. So you're gonna use this one. And what I like to do is kind of lay it down about where I'm gonna glue it down. And then you can kind of layer it where that opening is, so you know where it needs to be punched out on the white. You line everything up, and then you take your tape and tape it down to your white liner before you die cut it, and that should line up exactly where it needs to go. So we'll grab our machine again. Our cutting plates. Get that piece and that piece. Okay. So now this should all line up. No, I got the neck a little lopsided, but that's all right. Oh goodness. All right, so now we've got that little opening. And now, it is gonna be all lined up. So now we need to do our stamping. So we're gonna grab the Lost Lagoon ink pad, and we are using Sentimental Park. We're using the Let's Celebrate and the Your New Baby. I had them on stamps already. Here they are. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna pull that off. Little piece right there. All right, so I've shared this tip many times, but if you're new to my channel, maybe you haven't heard it, these Stampin' Pads are very tight sometimes to open. So if you take your pad face side up and take your thumbs and put them at the end of your pad near the hinge and push down. That helps pop open the top of your ink pad, and then you can slide it open. It makes it a little bit easier. So we're gonna do the Let's Celebrate in Lost Lagoon and stamp that in the middle. And then we're gonna do Your New Baby right below it. so cute. Love it. And now we'll just glue this on the inside and we will be done. I love this so much. This is a card design that's been out there for years and years and years, and I was trying to figure out what kind of baby shower card can I make. And I saw this on a few blogs, Stampin' blogs, and I was like, oh, that's so cute. Let's do that. And they really liked their card. They thought it was really cute. So, all right. So there is our little baby onesie card. Super, super cute. If you haven't already, make sure to give me a thumbs up or a heart and comment below and let me know what you think. I'm going to change my little camera view so you can see my face again. Hi there. So don't forget to comment prize if you want a chance to win that Shy Shamrock ribbon. You can comment on my YouTube channel or my, you can comment on my YouTube channel or my Facebook video, either one, my YouTube video or my Facebook video. Just comment prize and I will announce the winner next week when we have a fun new card to do or new project. Don't forget to check out everything. I'm going to send an email to my newsletter subscribers tonight and maybe another one tomorrow with links. But I will definitely send a reminder tonight so you can get ready and make sure that you have everything you need when you place your order tomorrow or within the next few days. But celebration starts tomorrow. It's a great time to earn free products. So make sure to get your wish list ready, okay? Thank you guys so much for joining me. I really hope you enjoyed today's tutorial and I will see you next week with another fun project, okay? Be safe and happy stamping. Bye-bye.